Hey guys and gals, Denmark7643. Decided to just give a little Christmas present out for the people like myself that don't have Galactic Legends, but they want to try to help out in Phase 2 of their challenge, Rancor raid. I don't have Piett, and I didn't spend the money on it, and I had these characters close enough to try to make a run at a decent Vader squad in Phase 2. And so without Piett, I knew I wasn't going to be getting towards that lofty 10% area or whatever, but I actually did have one miracle run that went through for a while that we ended up aborting and trying to set up other raids later at a different time because we didn't have enough on. I'll get into that in a moment, but effectively you want to commit all your damage at once at this raid. Have as many people online as you can, have the right squads, hold the damage, and then commit it all, and just end the phases with each commit period. So follow some officer instructions. The next thing you know, this raid is toast. So in any case, I don't have any Galactic Legends. I don't have a Ray. We use Rays on Phase 1. They just get wiped out. It's super fast. And then in Phase 2, there are Supreme Leader Kylo Ren teams that go bananas in here. And they do great damage. But I don't have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and so the other options are a little bit less enticing. You have some other Galactic Legends, but they're probably better used in other phases. And then you have like gas teams and Padme teams that can do some work in this phase. But this team right here can hang 2 million pretty consistently, or right around there, like 1.9, 1.7. At the very least, probably, if you do a few runs, you'll be able to bang it out with this move order if your mods are close to what I have. Now, I did move arena mods to my DR mods, moved to my Emperor. My Thrawn is fast because he's already in my arena team as counter squad, and I moved my BSF mods, with the exception of the potency crosses on Watt and Vader. Those ended up moving around just to make sure I could accelerate everybody's speed. My crew is already perfectly modded for this raid with nothing but health. I had a speed arrow on earlier, and I replaced it with a health arrow just to add a little bit extra beef. And so, yeah, it's pretty fun. And this last cull is just fabulous. So, without any further ado, the reason that I decided to do this team is because of that fearsome foe. If you get a little bit further, you'll see that it is ridiculously powerful unless it's toppled. It has a ton of resistance, and it gains 15% turn meter whenever it takes damage. So just a massive amount of turn meter. And it uses 3 abilities per turn. It takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects and massive damage. And all these lovely things you guys and gals can read, but effectively, no turn meter gain, no turn meter manipulation of any kind. You can't stop the Rancor's turn meter gain, but your team can't gain any, nor can you take it away from him. So, really ridiculous. There's no CLS nonsense here. And what's worse, that line on Pit Fighter 2 where it says, all enemies both active and defeated lose 5% offense, tenacity, and mastery stacking until the end of the encounter. Triple for Galactic Legends. There you go. Well, it completely neuters you the longer that the match goes. It's tough to keep your damage up. Any other squad is going to have its damage just reduced until it's over. And with this team, the more debuffs that you can land, your damage will scale a little bit better, and it'll come back for Vader's Culling Blade. Now, the damage doesn't scale a whole lot better for any other character, but Vader's your damage. So you guys and gals can take a look at this move order and let me know if there's anything that you would change, because absolutely I am open to it. I just know that I did this 40 times probably, and this was the absolute best. So the first thing you do is you bring in any Relic 5 character you don't care about, take their mods off. If you like, get them under like 200 and some odd speed is the Rancor's base. So if you have it under that, you can get a 0 damage sacrifice in so you can begin your test runs. And then we'll show you where to turn on airplane mode in this run. I never had it fail on me. All the times I did it 30, 40 times, something like that, trying to get this stuff done. So this is where I move the mods, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit for sake of brevity. It's exactly what I did though. And then we're going to start the fight. So the first thing you do is you tech Vader with blast deck, and then my characters are modded, so Watt moves next, and he's going to use the shield tech on KRU. Then Thrawn moves next, so make sure you have the order that way. Thrawn is going to pass turn to KRU. He's going to basic the Rancor. And KRU's speed with that health arrow is such that it's about decent for that turn meter to come back to Thrawn to fracture. So after this now we're going to go ahead and hit the switch. And now I didn't critically hit there, so because of that, what happened was I had to back out. Now that's the portion of RNG for me, because in order to do this I need a critical hit from the Emperor, and I also need a critical hit on Force Crush from Vader to hit that switch. But when it happens, it's glorious. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times, but this is real time. From right in the beginning you saw the sacrifice, and this time it worked. You need to target the Rancor before you Force Crush there. This is really important, because if you don't target the Rancor and you're still targeting the switch when you Force Crush, you miss the opportunity to apply 2 damage over times with Wat Tambor, because Vader has tech. And we're going to exploit this by using specials on all the characters with tech while the Rancor is toppled to get as many damage over times as possible on the target. Then and only then are we going to trigger offense up, Merciless Massacre, and a Culling Blade for a decent amount of damage on the Rancor before it ever gets a chance to move. So, like I said, at this stage of the game, the move is to tech the Emperor. Now we're going to use the 3rd special to apply damage over times on the Rancor again. That goes up to 7, and now here we're going to basic with Vader, because we're not going to hit just that many debuffs. That's only 7. We're going to use the 3rd special. We don't need to worry about a taunt, and that will trigger more damage over time from Watt. And then we're going to activate those damage over times with the special. Now we can offense up. The stage is set for Vader to go ahead and Merciless, and then Culling Blade for 872,000 or so. And then we'll basic, and now you're going to have to basic again with KRU to get Tenacity down back, because you culled it off. Now go ahead and do your basic, and now you're going to pass turn to Vader, and he's going to apply Force Crush again with slow. That lands, and now we fracture, and finally the Rancor moves with all the turn meter gain. But he got it so late, the timing is great. Now, I tried to cleanse Wat Tambor here in the hopes that I'd be able to get a couple of more debuffs on the on the Rancor here. But this didn't work. It was a gamble. I just tried to get a few more because I knew that my team was going to get swatted next, and most of the team was going to die. So I'll just try to get more damage over time there. But there's no Tenacity down from KRU. And what I should have done is hit with KRU there with Tenacity down, probably just to see if we could get those Emperor ones to land. Now here's your airplane mode. Usually you end up in this situation where Vader's still alive. Sometimes he's not debuffed on the very rare chance. And sometimes, in the very rarest chance, the Emperor is still alive. So we're going to do the special there, try to get more dots. We looked at turn meter, and we know that Vader can cull here cleanly, and then Watt's going to be able to move and activate the dots, and then everyone's going to die. But if you look up, you will see that that Rancor is sitting at 96.2, and this Culling Blade also will critical hit, but I am debuffed, and there's no offense up, there's no Merciless, so it's relatively pedestrian, but still nice damage at 500 plus 1,000. So I just verified. There we go. There's the critical hit. And then here I wasn't really sure what to do. I probably should have cleansed Vader. And I think eventually I did, actually. Sorry, I'm just reviewing this video for the first time now. But I know that I held for a long time. And then at the end of that, and then I ended up triggering the damage over times, then everyone dies. He takes damage one more time, 94.3 or so. And there's the 2 million damage or so. So, pretty decent. decent. Oh, excuse me there. Certainly it's available for you, but like I said, if your mods are a little slower, I don't know if it's going to be as effective. I know that my characters were pretty quick for this run. I can show you guys and gals what that looks like here. Alright, so my Vader just looks like this. Pretty pedestrian, nothing fancy, really slow kind of. And you know, maybe I need to tinker with his mods a little bit more too. Maybe I can squeeze a little bit more out of this. Also, trying a blazing fast version of him just failed for me because of the way that my potency crosses are allocated. It's kind of tricky. I tried BSF's mods on him and it just wasn't as much damage. I tried a few runs with him with speed and whatever, but crit damage was the way to go for me and it was fine. So I didn't actually mess with anything. I actually left him the way that I had him, and he's effective, if slow. But that's good for you guys and gals because that run was done just like that. Nothing fancy, no really great mods. Kylo Ren Unmasked is kind of special. He's got a great set for health. So that was the whole point behind that. And you can see his protection is low, which isn't as beneficial if you run him with Watt or under his own lead, but when he's just an off tank like this, he's ideal like this for the raid. So that's what he looks like. And then my Emperor looked like this for the raid. Yeah, look at that blazing fast 7 speed on him right now. I'm stolen some mods from some other characters, but this is what he gets for the raid, which isn't particularly slow for the Emperor, and it's pretty decent, if a little bit less offense, but crit damage is there. So that's how he looked. And then my Wat Tambor looked like this. Okay. So not slow. Pretty effective. And then the last member is Thrawn, and he's set up with some arena mods. Not slow either. Not fast, but not slow. I've seen much faster, but that's how we get her done. So if you guys and gals have any questions, I know for a fact if you threw like a beautiful relic Piett in there and you started stacking all that Emperor's Will, there's going to be some nonsense in there. But if you don't have him yet, this team can get you by if you have your Emperor at Relic 5, because you already have your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren squad all ripping, or you're on your way to getting him, whatever, and you decide. Because with Kylo, you know, maybe you don't need to use him in that phase. If your guild has just a ton of them, you can get by running this one. But it just depends on how you want to optimize your damage. Kylo is great in phase 2. If you don't have him though, this is a great team to get it done. So I really appreciate you guys and gals. I'll tell you this, then I just sit out. I don't have anything for phase 3 for our guild, and then phase 4 run my Rebels, or you can run Grievous Django for decent damage even towards the tail end of the kitchen sink. And Malik is a monster also. If you have him set up properly, he can get some crazy damage even at the very end of the cycle where the Rancor is just going crazy. So appreciate you all. If this video helped you out, I'd appreciate a like, or the YouTube things that you guys and gals do, the subscribe things are always appreciated. But in the end, I just want to help out a guild or two, or a few folks out there that maybe are kind of in my boat where they don't spend, or they don't spend very much, and they just don't quite have this ready, but their guild wants to go after this thing. You can deal some decent damage with this, get it done. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you. If you have any adjustments, or you'd like to see any other different things that I do or the Phase 4 stuff, let me know in the comments, and I'll make some more videos. Appreciate you. Bye now. Denny out.